So this is a scene from the first trail shelter on the way to the Spirit Sands. The trail is beautiful. Hardly anybody else out here today. I think there was 2 cars in the parking lot. Haven't met another human soul yet. A couple interesting things about the trail this year, because it hasn't been trampled all year. Things are growing on it that don't normally grow, like horsetail, which you find in profusion in the damper areas in this park. And wild rose. In the middle of the trail, I've noticed a couple of wild rose, little bushes with bright red hips on them. So they've managed to bloom and survive all year without anybody tramping on them. That's all going to change now, I'm afraid, little wild rose. In any case, it's a beautiful day. A little bit of breeze, making the aspens chatter away. The spruce trees have their serious conversations. And I just want to point out something in this little shelter here. There's wooden benches along 2 sides of it, and they've been painted brown, and some critter has taken a liking to the brown paint, and you can see where it's chewed off all the way along the edges here. Wherever there's an edge, they've chewed off the paint. Either it tastes good or they get high from it. Just approaching the first fork in the trail on the way to the Spirit Sands. So my options here are I can go left this way up into the forest and take a nice stroll through the forest with a couple of fairly steep climbs and arrive at the dunes fairly quickly. Or I can go right and take a leisurely walk up to the lookout deck, which is a marvelous 360-degree view. And from there across the transition zone and arrive at the dunes that way. I'm gonna go right. This way. And here's one of the steeper hills on the trail to the Spirit Sands. And this is one of those hills where I put into gear my 10-step stop and look back rule. And I'll talk a little bit more about that when I get to the top of that hill. So I'm at the top of that steep rise, and I had to get my walking stick out, which Linda gave me. Beautiful. I love this. It's carved wood. It feels so wonderful in my hand. Very simple. Helps me in a lot of ways. So the 10-step stop and look back rule, I started to do, just about a year after I started to seriously hike. Just so you don't put too much strain on my heart and on everything. I'm not that young a man. And fairly good shape though. So that was my rule. 10 steps, stop and look back on steep hills. You know, the best part of that was looking back. You can double the pleasure of your hike every now and then by stopping and turning around, because what you just walked through looks completely different if you turn around. And that's the scene that I just walked through. Gorgeous. On a perfect afternoon in Spruce Woods Park. Thanks, walking stick. Thanks, Linda. It's a steep climb up to the observation deck, so this time we are blessed with stairs right up to the summit. Alright, first view from the observation deck. That's Marsh Lake down there with lots of extra water in it this year because of the flooding of Assiniboine. Here's all the stair system that you use to get to the top of the lookout. And look out, what a view. What a view. Here, panning toward the east now. Sorry, the west, into the east gate of the Spirit Sands. And there they are, all red against the horizon. Beautiful. Beautiful. I shot a Marsh Lake and the flood damage beyond it there, up into those green fields. That's all sand that was washed up there by the river. There's a little pincushion cactus poking its head up out of the crusty sand. And there's another one. This one's still got its seed attached to the top of it. So the seeds just basically drop off the cactus and fall down next to it, and that happens enough times, and enough of those seeds germinate, you get a little cluster of pincushion cactuses like this. And tucked in there in that little juniper bush Can you see it? Tucked in there is a little wasp's nest. It's right by the side of the trail. Alright, those bright red berries are bearberries. There's a little waxy leaf plant growing low to the ground. Big and red and juicy this year, by the look of it. And just above them is a juniper bush. And it has juniper berries on it. And those little round berries, juniper berries, and they'll turn blue late in the season. Some of them have already started to do that. You can see a little bluishness on them. Yeah, that's what they used to flavor gin. Otherwise it tastes like pure alcohol. Juniper berries and bearberries. The best of buddies out here next to the trail to the Spirit Sands. And this is the bottom of the dune face, and that's where we're going to go next, using the log ladder. And here's the log ladder up the dune face, all the way up, disappearing into the sky, seemingly. Ah, well, my ascent begins. And here's looking back from a pause halfway up the log ladder. With this much to go. And there's the trail I came in on. And here's the log ladder I climbed to the top of the dune. And this is the vista that awaited me. Beautiful today on the dunes. Little yellow flowers blooming all over the sands this year. Lots of water for them, that's for sure. Pretty much as far as the eye can see. Little yellow daisy-like flowers with a dark center. Beautiful. I'm standing right at the very top of the dune face, looking back down at the mixed forest that I just walked through. Aspen, spruce, not a perfect day. And a little to my left here is a beautiful tree. Lynn and I used to sit right next to this little bush. It was just a little bush when we started coming here, and it's huge this year with all the water. Back down the dune face, another shot of the forest. And off to my right is a beautiful savanna. Lovely prairie scene. The wagon trail through it. Some brush, a few little spruce trees. Beautiful prairie scene. And then turn 90 degrees this way and you got a desert. And the desert just starting to overgrow at this point. And it goes on for miles and miles and miles. So from here you can see a desert, nice prairie landscape, and a forest landscape down below. What a place to spend eternity. What a place to spend eternity. That little circle that you see around that stalk of grass was made by the grass and the wind. They conspired together to make those concentric circles. You see it a lot out here in the desert. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Well, I'm standing above the Assiniboine River. That's the bridge over the Assiniboine on Highway number 5, just next to the Spirit Sands here. And you can see some of the debris still caught up in the bridge. And it's amazing how much water went through here. Look at that on the other side of the bank. This is on a curve, so it cut its own little channel to create this island in the middle of the river. There's the long view. There's still a lot of water coming down the Assiniboine here. I'll just give you the view over the edge here. It's really steep, so I don't want to panel of sand there. And then clay, as you'd expect on the prairies. And then the river beyond.